Hello guys, welcome back to the crew. Driving all cars, part number 8, if I'm not mistaken. The Bentley Continental Supersports, or as we call it here in Europe, the Bentley Continental GT Speed. Comes with 2 performance and circuit specs. That's what it is. This is the full stock version. Quick look around. As always, original colors, original rims, as I have on all my cars. Interior, you can see the dials, so it's not really messed up with the latest patches. For those who don't know yet, some of those speedometers and so are no longer visible in daylight, because they came up with some feature. If you drive into a tunnel, they light up. That's all cool. But the result of it is that some of those things can't be seen driving in daylight anymore because of their changes. The perfect spec, some black rims here, goldish color, and a bit of carbon spoilers. I didn't put a wing on in here because, well, there were only 2 or 3 available and they were all kind of big. Would be okay for a circuit spec, but not for the performance, so I left out the wing there. On the circuit spec, it comes with a wing, so I had to leave that one on. Bit more side wings here, also all carbon wing as well. Change the interior a bit for the circuit spec. Time to start the engine and drive around, I guess. It is, of course, named driving all cars. So that's the idea. Driving all car quickly, look what's good, what's not so good. And of course it's all a personal opinion, some might differ from that. But yeah. Kinda okay. Pretty quick response for a pretty heavy car. I kinda expected it to be like the Aston Vanquish that I posted yesterday, where that really had a handling problem because of the weight or because of the suspension. But this one seems balanced a bit more, although the weight will probably be an issue. If we're going to talk about times or handling in general. But it seems okay. Cockpit view, not bad either. Of course, a sort of double V6, a W12 6-liter engine, if I'm not mistaken. So power it will have, that's for sure. It is pretty heavy. It's one of those cars that you can definitely use if you go to PvP and you have a few of those people who always select collisions just to be able to ram you. Well, you can take a hit with this car, that's for sure. Switching to the performance specs and do the 1 mile drag race as I do in all these videos. Due to the weight, I'm not expecting a super fast time here, but never know, might come up with a surprise, as the Aston Martin Vanquish, which is still the fastest with a 22.8 so far from the cars that I've tested in the previous videos. Bit of wheel spin in first gear mainly. Quarter mile point here, hit the nitro. Doing over 300 on the half mile. $343 at the end. And we finished in a time of 23.9, which is, well, somewhere in the middle of the cars that we tested. The fastest, the Aston Martin Vanquish, followed by the Abarth 500 so far. The slowest is the Aston Martin V8 with 24.2, I believe. So it's somewhere in the middle, and I think for the performance spec that will also be the case. If you should make some sort of ranking of all performance specs, it probably it will come somewhere in the middle of the pack. A quick test to see how it handles and drives on a twisty track, a few jumps as well, downhill, so we can sort of see what speed it can make. If we don't hit cars at that point or something, can always happen. Brakes are kinda okay, especially seeing it's a pretty heavy car. You can even call them pretty good brakes. Doesn't suffer much from understeer at first look. More oversteering, which I prefer, so it's not a big issue. Quick response as well. Bit too much on the brakes there for the S corner. Kind of suspected that it would sort of react like the Vanquish and go all over the place due to the weight, but it's not the case with this one. This has a better handling than the Vanquish. Over 101 kilometers an hour, so also top speed wise definitely not bad. Acceleration is just a bit slow, and that will main reason for that probably be it's a bit too heavy. But brakes and handling are quite good, especially for the weight of the car, so yep. Here one of those free drive bugs that sometimes occurs. Although it does count the finish time that you passed the finish there, but didn't get the result screen, so you have to drive around a bit and then eventually it shows up with the time that you passed the finish though. A bit heavy, but other than that, quick response, brakes are good, top speed is definitely not bad. The circuit spec, 1 mile drag race. Well, I only tested one car in circuit spec so far, which is the Alfa Romeo 8C, which had a time of 23.6 on the mile drag, which I surprisingly found kinda slow. Seeing it is a circuit spec, it should be faster than the performance specs. And there was only a few tenths difference between the performance and the circuit spec for that car. But I don't know, by the looks of it, it's going to be the same with this one. So are the circuit specs really based on top speed? Possible. 23.6, that's only 3/10 of a second faster than the performance spec on a 1 mile drag. So I'm guessing that the top speed, once it keeps going a longer track, then it will get a pretty good high speed, I think. Or you could say it is kind of, if you compare it with the 8C, which is a bit lighter at least, then this one is actually, due to the weight, the same time, but since they weight more compared to the 8C, this one is a better acceleration, although the times are the same. Immediately going over 330, so a nitro start works pretty good. Yep, it handles pretty good as well as the performance spec. This one even better. And it doesn't suffer from understeer. That's the main thing, at least to me, because I hate cars that understeer. It does break out if you touch the off-road, but yeah, that will happen with most of the cars. Throw it in this corner. Yep, no problem. Let's see how it does in the S-corn. Left, right, left. Pretty smooth, except for that car, yeah, but had to avoid that. The jumps. More or less okay. Although 414 or something, and it was 7 gears, so it's kinda limiting there almost. Probably do 420 something if you get a bit of draft or slipstream. Also in this one, just as in the performance spec, brakes pretty neat, work pretty good. The Bentley Continental Supersports. Yep. Although it weighs quite a bit, it has a pretty good handling and decent brakes. Top speed seems to be okay as well, but just because of its weight, you get a sort of slow acceleration. But all in all, not a bad car. It's not the fastest, but it's also not the slowest. That will be it for this video, driving all cars part number 8. I will see you guys in the next one, and bye for now.